Hey everyone, welcome back.
Yeah.
We're going to be diving into something pretty profound today.
Yeah. Really fascinating.
It's all about what it means to be indigenous.
Okay.
And not just like, a dictionary definition,
Right. Yeah.
but like really what it means to like have that connection
Yeah. That deep connection to the land.
to the land,
Yeah.
exactly. And
How it shapes.
whole cultures and societies.
Exactly. And how that's challenged when people are forced from their ancestral homes.
Yeah, it's a complex issue
Yeah.
with a really long history.
For sure.
And we're going to be looking at it through this video essay.
Yeah.
A really powerful video essay.
Yeah. This one's amazing.
It focuses on the Palestinian experience,
Okay.
but draws some really interesting parallels to Native American history.
Yeah. And that's what I thought was so interesting about it is that
Yeah.
instead of just like just a simple like, here's what indigenous means. It's like, no, it's like
It goes deeper.
it goes so much deeper.
It's that relationship with the land.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like almost like a,
Like a living being
yeah,
that you have a responsibility to.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was blown away by this
Me too.
phrase that they use
Oh, yeah.
of Onya Che,
Friends of the land.
friends of the land.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is.
And it really captures that sense of like
Yeah.
harmony and respect that so many indigenous cultures share.
Yeah. And I think that's a good place to start is like with the Palestinian experience.
Okay, yeah.
Because the essay talks about the Nakba,
Right.
which translates to like catastrophe.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. Catastrophe.
It refers to the mass displacement of Palestinians that started in 1948.
Right.
And like hundreds of thousands of people were forced from their homes and lands.
Yeah. Often with very little warning.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
forced out.
Yeah.
It's a pivotal moment in Palestinian history.
Totally.
Like its effects are still felt deeply today.
Oh.
So many were driven into refugee camps,
Right.
scattered across the region, separated from the land that their families had lived on for generations.
The essayist shares her own family's story
Right.
about how they had to flee their village of El Kabri.
Yeah.
And it's just like that idea of like, your home where your family has like lived and farmed for generations.
For generations.
It's suddenly gone.
Yeah, and it's now
A highway, a forest, a kibbutz.
anything but what it was.
It's just wild. And that like...
Yeah, and with that loss comes like a really profound
Oh, yeah.
sense of grief
Yeah,
and dispossession.
absolutely.
A tangible example of how a displacement can just completely sever those
Yeah.
deep cultural ties.
Yeah.
The essayist talks about how she yearns for
Yeah.
these specific details of her heritage.
Yeah, like what kind of detail?
Like the agricultural practices her ancestors used,
Right.
the rituals they perform,
Oh, wow.
even just the unique dialect of Arabic that they spoke in that region,
Yeah.
which was like intertwined with the plants and the animals
So specific.
of that specific region,
Wow. Yeah, you lose a part of yourself.
It's like losing a part of yourself.
Yeah.
And the essayist points out that it's not even just about personal identity.
Yeah.
It's also about losing valuable knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge that could be crucial for understanding the environment
Yeah,
and living sustainably in that region.
for sure.
And I think that's a good point to get into.
Yeah.
The impact of displacement on indigenous knowledge systems.
Okay.
These systems are built up over centuries,
Right.
and they often hold insights into sustainable agriculture,
Okay.
ecological management, even
Yeah.
medicine.
Wow.
And when communities are forced from their land, this knowledge
Yeah.
is lost
It's just gone.
or fragmented.
Yeah.
And that's a loss not just for those communities,
Right.
but for the world.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does make you think like about what happens when that intricate knowledge of a place is just disrupted.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like it's a whole library of wisdom just
Lost.
Yeah.
And the essay draws this powerful parallel
Yeah.
to Native American history
Right.
with the Trail of Tears
Yeah.
back in the 1830s.
Right. 1830s, the Cherokee Nation
Yeah.
was forcibly removed from their ancestral lands in the southeastern U.S.
Right.
Thousands forced to march westward,
Yeah.
many dying along the way
Oh, yeah.
from disease and exhaustion.
And it's just a horrible chapter
Terrifying.
in American history.
Yeah.
And it resonates so deeply
It does.
with the Palestinian experience.
For sure.
It's just like both
Yeah.
examples of how
Yeah, these colonial powers viewed indigenous lands as just
empty
empty
bricks.
canvases ripe for the taking,
Yeah.
ignoring the rich cultures and complex relationships that were already there.
And it's like that's the thing that just blows my mind.
It's mind-boggling.
Is that like that kind of thinking?
No.
That just disregard for existing knowledge systems? It leads to like really devastating ecological consequences?
Absolutely.
Like even like the Dust Bowl in the 1930s
Oh, yeah.
was a direct result
Yeah.
of unsustainable farming practices?
That completely ignored the traditional knowledge of the Native Americans
Right.
who lived there in harmony with those grasslands for centuries.
Right.
You know,
It's just like you can't.
separate
Yeah.
cultural laws from environmental laws.
Right.
They're so intertwined.
Yeah, it's true.
But, despite these hardships,
Yeah.
both Palestinians and Native Americans have shown incredible resilience.
Resilient.
Yeah, they continue to fight for their land,
Yes.
their rights, and their cultural survival.
And that resilience is a central theme
It is.
in this essay.
Yeah.
And there's this one scene that just gets me every time.
Yeah.
It's where Palestinians are returning to Gaza
Yeah.
and they're kissing the soil.
Literally embracing their homeland.
Yeah.
Powerful testament to their enduring connection to the land.
Yeah. And even after
Decades of displacement.
decades of displacement, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And they contrast this
Yeah.
with what they call the settler mentality,
Right.
which is basically the idea that land is primarily a commodity.
Yeah, something to be exploited for profit or control.
Yeah, it's wild. And it's like,
Yeah.
that's the distinction I think that's so important
Cultural
to
distinction.
to make, because
The essay argues that this settler mentality, lacking that deep-rooted connection to a specific place,
right.
can lead to just like a detachment,
Yeah.
a willingness to abandon the land when things get tough,
Yeah.
or to exploit it without regard for
The long-term
the
consequences.
long-term consequences. Exactly.
And then there's this whole other like really powerful symbol in the video
Oh, yeah.
that I thought was really interesting, which is the olive tree.
The olive tree,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like it plays such a significant role
Huge.
in Palestinian culture.
Yeah.
It represents resilience, rootedness, peace.
Yeah. For Palestinians, the olive tree is more than just
Oh, for sure.
like a source of food or income.
Yeah.
It's like woven into
It's everything. Their songs, their embroidery.
their farming practices.
It's everywhere.
It's a symbol of their connection.
Enduring connection to the land.
Yeah. But then
Sadly.
it's sad because as the video shows,
Yeah.
even the olive tree has become a target.
A target.
There's these scenes of like olive groves
Yeah.
being bulldozed or burned.
Just destroyed.
Just-
A deliberate act of cultural and ecological destruction.
it's heartbreaking.
It's awful.
And it's like a way of further severing
It is.
that connection
Yeah.
between Palestinians and their land.
It undermines their livelihood and
Their-
erases their heritage.
And it's like this kind of,
And this isn't unique
yeah,
to Palestine.
right.
We see these tactics used against indigenous communities all over the world.
It's a reminder that the struggle
It's a reminder
for indigenous rights
Yeah.
is far from
it's
over.
ongoing
It's an ongoing battle.
against forces that seek to erase their cultures,
Right.
control their lands.
But amidst these struggles,
Yeah.
there's also this growing movement
There is.
for indigenous self-determination.
Yes. So,
Reclaiming those traditions and
Yeah.
practices,
yeah.
and for forging a more sustainable and just relationship with the land.
It's inspiring.
And that's where I think the video leaves us
Yeah.
with a sense of hope.
Okay.
It doesn't shy away from the difficult realities,
Right.
but it also highlights the power of resistance,
Yeah.
the beauty of cultural survival,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
importance of listening to indigenous voices.
Absolutely. And it prompts us to ask, like,
It does.
some tough questions
Some tough questions about our own relationship with the land.
about our own relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. What can we learn from indigenous cultures about living in balance with nature? How can we support their struggles for justice and self-determination?
Yeah, it really does make you think about, like,
It does.
your own connection to the land. Like,
yeah.
do we even see ourselves
Right.
as, like, caretakers?
Yeah.
Or are we just consumers?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is.
Like, it's a question we all need to be grappling with,
Yeah.
especially now,
Right.
as we face these, like, growing environmental challenges.
For sure.
And I think the video hints at the fact that,
Yeah.
indigenous cultures, with their deep understanding of place
Yeah.
and their emphasis on, like, reciprocity,
Yeah.
they offer valuable insights into how we can live more sustainably.
Totally. And I think that's what's so cool about the essay is that it doesn't, like,
It doesn't.
give you the answers.
Yeah.
It's not preachy.
Yeah.
It's just like sharing a personal story.
A personal journey
Yeah.
of trying to reclaim that lost knowledge. And it's like By sharing that, she's kind of inviting us
Yeah.
to embark on our own journeys
Of discovery.
of discovery and reconnection.
Yeah. And maybe that starts with like
Yeah, maybe.
learning about the indigenous history of the place where you live.
Right. Or supporting like
Yeah.
local indigenous-led conservation efforts.
Yeah. Or just even
Like taking a walk.
going outside.
Yeah.
And like really paying attention.
The plants to the animals.
Yeah, to the wind.
Yeah.
Like just rediscovering that sense of wonder.
The connection.
Yeah, that connection.
Maybe we've lost.
That we've lost. Yeah.
And remembering that phrase.
Yeah. Friends of the land.
It's not just about protecting the environment.
No, it's about understanding.
It's about understanding.
Like recognizing that interconnection
Yeah.
with all living things.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm walking away with is just
Yeah.
this like
Sense of
Yeah.
urgency, but also hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the challenges are real.
But so is the resilience
Yeah.
of these communities and their determination.
And keep going.
Yeah, to protect their cultures,
Yeah.
their lands.
We can learn from them.
Yeah, we can all strive to become better friends of the land.
Yeah. Approach the natural world with respect, humility, and a sense of responsibility.
For future generations.
Yeah. If you're interested in seeing this video essay,
Check it out.
I highly recommend it.
It'll stay with you.
It will.
Yeah, it'll prompt you to think differently about what it means to belong to a place.
To be indigenous.
Yeah, and to be a human being.
In a world that needs our care.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Oh,
We'll see you next time.
see you next time.